Hello and welcome to Lesson 3 of National 5 Computing Science Database Design and Development. Today we're learning about the GDPR, what it is, what's meant by personal data, who it affects, how it affects them. The GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulation. It's a law that was meant to empower citizens, individuals, give them more power over their data. The GDPR replaced the Data Protection Act, which was an old UK act that basically did the same thing, but the GDPR makes it much more clear and more comprehensive. The UK GDPR is based on the EU GDPR. They both do basically the same things, but the UK version is much more specific to the UK, and this is the one that you need to know for National 5. Every single business on the planet that stores personal data of UK citizens must comply with the GDPR. So what is meant by personal data, personal information? This is any information that relates to an individual, and it must be an individual that is identifiable through that information, such as their name, their address, date of birth. There are loads of pieces of information that can be personal data. These are just some examples. The GDPR affects individuals in many ways, and the one that you'll notice the most, you as an individual, you'll notice that websites have pop-ups asking if you agree to cookies. Cookies can store personal data, so the websites must let you know. You may also have seen lots of emails. You might have received emails asking you if you still want to receive updates or things like this. This is all covered by the GDPR. You as an individual, you have the right to see what data an organisation stores about you, and you can demand that that data is kept up to date, removed if it's not necessary, and so on. There are many other ways the GDPR affects individuals, but what you really need to know is how it affects businesses. These 6 bullet points are the most important things you need to know in this whole presentation. So if you take anything away from this, make sure you memorize these 6 bullet points. All personal data stored by a business, if it's personal data about a UK citizen, it must be processed lawfully, fairly, and in a transparent manner. This means that they obviously can't do anything illegal with that data. They have to let you know that they're storing that data, and they have to let you know what data it is that they're storing. It can only be used for the declared purposes. That means if they tell you what they're storing it for, they're not allowed to use it for anything else. Otherwise, they're breaching the regulation. When they tell you what they're storing and what they're storing it for, they're not allowed to store any other data that is not needed for that declared purpose. It must only be limited to what they said they wanted it for. The data must be kept accurate, and if it's not accurate, you can tell them to make it accurate, and if they don't, they're breaching the regulation. Businesses aren't allowed to keep data for longer than necessary, though this is quite a grey area because how long is necessary? And very importantly, it must be held securely. It shouldn't be open to the public. It must be safe and secure, not accessible by anyone who just wants to read your personal data. So there you have it, everything you need to know about the GDPR. It's not a huge topic. It rarely comes up in exams, but if it does, it's only a couple of marks at most. But if it does come up, remember these 6 bullet points and you will be fine. Hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one.